The Washington Post is getting torched by critics for this article about breakthrough COVID cases, but which referred to expectant mothers as pregnant people instead of women, right? So the Post used the phrase pregnant people both in the headline and multiple times throughout the article, but only used the word woman once. Pierce Morgan, what say you?
And this goes back to what I was saying earlier about the eradication of any gender-specific language. It's tailoring to a tiny minority of people, and the vast majority of people would like to carry on being called by what they identify as. You ladies here, I presume, if you don't mind me calling you ladies, I presume you all identify as women. So if you were pregnant, you're a pregnant woman. You're not a pregnant person. And why should you be? It's so insulting, it's so insensitive, and it just flies again to my central point. Why are we letting this tiny group of people dictate how everybody else has to speak?
So there's really an amazing irony to right-wingers freaking out about subtle changes in our language that are happening, to be clear, fairly naturally. Now in this instance, it's the use of the word people as opposed to women when it comes to referencing people that can get pregnant. Just a simple, obvious recognition of the fact that there are plenty of trans men and non-binary folks out there that can and do get pregnant. And so in order to be more inclusive, you know, in government language, they make sure to say people instead of women. This isn't erasing women, it's recognizing that more people than just women can get pregnant. And it's really quite that simple. And I think the funniest part about it is this bit that Piers Morgan says right here.
So if you were pregnant, you're a pregnant woman. You're not a pregnant person.
Apparently, in the mind of Piers Morgan, women aren't people. Just another instance of transphobes telling on themselves. But there's something that's deeply hilarious about this, because ultimately, you see this among right-wingers who freak out about gender-neutral language, and you also see them freaking out about the use of the term cisgender. And this is where right-wingers get really, really upset about the idea of categorization. You see, if you are a cisgender man or a cisgender woman, well, that, yes, is a subset of men or women, it still falls under the larger umbrella of man or woman. You're not erasing somebody's masculinity or femininity by throwing cisgender in front of it. It's just like saying somebody's a tall woman or a short man. A tall woman is still a woman. A short man, still a man. These are not complicated topics to get through, just simple categorization. But I really don't think these right-wingers have a difficult time getting these ideas through their head. What they have a difficult time is what this language reflects, which is a society that is gradually becoming more accepting. And right now, they're deeply enraged by this, and they're trying to find some sort of area for the culture war. Now, the reason why they focus on language is because, to be honest, a lot of even well-meaning people can sometimes slip up on this. Like, for example, there's been many times where I've talked about abortion issues and slipped up and used the word women instead of just people. Now, this makes sense because our society has sort of programmed these assumptions into our head. And so it does take like a little bit of mental effort to grow as a person and recognize, wait, we should be more inclusive with our language. It's not that difficult, but it does take a little bit of effort. And that little bit of effort is what right-wingers are hoping to capitalize in this moment right now. You see, they depend on these constant culture war arguments happening in the public sphere in order to maintain any type of popularity, because ultimately their program of destroying the planet with fossil fuels and giving giant tax cuts to CEOs is actually very unpopular. Even right-wingers think that we should do something about climate change for the most part. So they're focusing on, right now, trans issues. And the reason they're focusing on trans issues is because it does take a little bit of effort for people to challenge their assumptions. Like, for example, right now, I haven't shaved today. I'm not wearing any makeup. That doesn't make me not a woman. I'm a trans woman. I'm not modulating my voice right now. The way I'm presenting right now very much challenges the assumptions about gender that a lot of people have. A lot of people mistakenly think it's about outward appearance, but the reality is it's a lot more about what's going on inside of your brain. That little bit of mental effort to remember pronouns in a situation like this, for example, is what right-wingers are hoping will be too much effort to expect from their audience and their base. They basically, instead of being willing to challenge their assumption, will respond with outrage. And my bet is that you can see the outrage in the comments in reference to what I just said. But this is their entire grift. They don't have anything to sell except for hate and the culture war. That's why Piers Morgan jumped directly from complaining about using the word people to pitching his next show.
Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. If you want to stay up to date with my content, you can follow me at Benjamin Carollo on Twitter. And lastly, to those of you who might be wondering or have noticed, my pronouns are in fact she, her.